The orc tribe. The iron doors to the stone cold storage were open. Harach looked around the room with curiosity, saying that this was the cold storage. The chieftain's son looked up uncertainly. He looked behind him, saying that it was only slightly cooler there than outside and the meat would quickly spoil, and their muscles would lose their former strength. Lloyd said that it was only for now and that was obvious. The protagonist smiled widely, noting that it was because there was no ice and they weren't done yet. The chieftain's son looked at the young master in confusion, saying that he knew what ice was and it was hot there, so there was no ice there. The brown-haired man smiled widely, saying that if not, they could make it themselves. Harach frowned in confusion, looking at the brown-haired man, asking how. The young master continued to smile, saying that whatever. Harach looked at the protagonist warily. The brown-haired man continued to force a smile onto his face. The orc narrowed his eyes, wondering if he had brought home a crook and maybe the story about the queen was a lie. The protagonist smirked slightly. The system notified that Harach was not as stupid as he thought. Lloyd said for the system to close, and he never ever thought that it was just her thoughts. The system said that it was not at all, and it was he who thought he was stupid. Lloyd noted that the level of sympathy was still much more important, or rather, the client was more important. Harach began to shake his head from side to side. He thought that Lloyd had saved him, and he should not have thought badly of him. The young master waved goodbye to the orc. The chieftain's son said that if he needed help, he could call at any time. The protagonist told him not to worry and wait until the work was finished. Xavier looked at the protagonist with curiosity, asking where they would get ice. Lloyd stood motionless with his hand raised, after which he looked back in confusion, saying that he was also interested in where. Xavier looked at the protagonist in bewilderment, noting that these were the eyes of a man who did not know what to do. The knight looked at the young gentleman with concern, asking him that he had signed a contract without a concrete plan and that he was going to cheat them. The swordsman's eyes widened in surprise. Lloyd asked if he knew the first signs of failure. The protagonist slightly opened his mouth, saying that he couldn't do this,